This brings us to the notion of multitasking. Now, I would like to give a personal anecdote about multitasking because it happened to me years ago and I didn't understand it until just recently. Back when I was in high school, they used to make us memorize great poems. And then we'd have to come into school and recite these poems for the class. And so what I used to do is really work hard on memorizing these poems. And then I would, the night before, my last practice was out loud in front of my mother. Okay. At the same time, my mother used to get her hair set at the beauty parlor, but once in a while, when she couldn't get to the beauty parlor, I would set her hair. And I had a lot of experience setting her hair, and I thought I could do it in my sleep. Okay. One night, I had to do both things, and I thought, boy, if I do them both at the same time, I'll be out of here and I can go out and see my friends. So what happened? I had that poem so well memorized, I started to say it, and the minute I picked up a roller, that poem just went out of my mind. And then when I started saying the poem, I couldn't make any progress on her hair. And I was so frustrated with myself. I tried 3 times, and then I just gave up, and I ended up setting her hair and then reciting the poem. And I was really surprised because one of my tasks was just words, and the other task involved no words. And yet, part of my brain that needed to do each of these things was in conflict. I couldn't do them both at the same time. Anyway, so I have recently looked into multitasking. And multitasking means different things to different people. In one way, our brains are always multitasking. Right now, your brain is telling your heart to pump blood and your lungs to exchange oxygen and your stomach to start digesting your food. Now these tasks that we can multitask easily with, let's say listening to a lecture, have been referred to as background tasks. Our body can background task many things while we pay attention to something else. And it is true that we can walk and chew gum at the same time. And the reason is that we don't really have to pay attention to each chew and to each step when we're taking a walk. In fact, we can take a walk and talk to one of our colleagues, really in a deep conversation about the data that you've just been looking at, and really have a good conversation, even though you're walking, until you get lost on that walk and suddenly you don't know whether to turn left or right. If you then have to make a decision about where to go, then that conversation that you've been having will have to take a back seat for a while until you find your bearings, and then you can go back.